Imagine a 2000-year-old text so profound it guides kings, inspires Mahatma Gandhi, and shapes modern leaders. Welcome to the world of Thirukkural, Tamil literature's crown jewel. Today we dive into this timeless masterpiece with C. Rajendran, a former IRS officer whose life blends bureaucratic rigor with a passion for Thiruvalluvar's wisdom. From rural Tamil Nadu to global platforms, C. Rajendran's journey marked by award-winning service, scholarly books, and initiatives to teach children and officers Thirukkural's ethics promises insights that resonate across cultures. Join us as we uncover why this ancient text still lights the way for a better world and how one man's mission is bringing its verses to life. Thank you so much for giving your time to us, sir. It's a pleasure to welcome you.
It's my pleasure too. It's my pleasure.
So let's begin. And we should start right from the very beginning. Can you take us back to your early years in Govindapalayam, if I'm correct, in Tamil Nadu?
Yeah, Govindapalayam.
Yeah, and can you share how your upbringing and family influenced your academic and career choices, particularly your decision to pursue the UPSC and join the IRS? I believe your grandfather was also a freedom fighter.
Yeah, very correct, very correct.
Yeah, okay. So that's what I'm really interested to know.
You know, as you know that India is living in villages. That's what Mahatma Gandhi said. I'm also from one of the nondescript villages. And there was no power when I was a young boy. There was no bus connectivity to the nearest town, which is 6 kilometers and 32 kilometers. And that is how the early life started. But my father was working in Sarvodaya Sangam. Now it's a part of Khadi Gramodaya Bhavan. Sarvodaya Sangam, he was the manager of a branch. It's a small, it's for upliftment of villages and Khadi movement. So my grandfather was a freedom fighter, but my father worked in 5, 6 small towns in Tamil Nadu. Finally, in the mid-40s, he came to our village. So I came to our village at the age of 10 years. So 5th standard, I came to my village, and from there onwards, our village had only school up to 8th standard, middle school, and then we had to cycle down 6 kilometers one way to the nearest school. That was a hub of about 10, 12 villages of that area. So we used to cycle down from 9th onwards, 9, 10, 11. So it's all part of the family that hard work, sincerity, and straightforwardness is very important in life. So my father told at the young age in my life, what is important is you need to stand on your own. And unless you have, money and position in the society, nobody will listen to you. And my mother said, as you think, your life is so. So जैसे भी आप सोच रहे हैं वैसा कहाँ तक आप वहाँ तक आप पहुँच सकते हैं. This is what my mother told us at a young age actually. These two mantras are ingrained in my life. And I said, okay, first thing is you have to be on your own. And if possible, you have to help others. And if possible, in a way, you have to serve your country, to build this country, a beautiful country. We are all really fortunate to be born in this land. So these are the small, you can call it the mantras, which guided me. Otherwise, my family is not well versed in scriptures. We are very humble, nondescript family. And we could be on our own. That's all.
How did you come up towards the civil services? I mean, there are other ways to serve as well, but how did you pinpoint this particular way?
Yeah, I would say that everyone who works diligently, sincerely, serve this country. Initially, my aim was not to join civil service, to be frank. My aim was to be on your own, to stand on your own leg. So when I was pursuing my master's degree in mathematics in a nearby arts college, a government college, that was about 80 kilometers from my village. It was my whole aim was somehow complete mathematics, MSc, and be a teacher, do B.Ed and then be a teacher, or anything, whatever the job comes to you in your way, take it. And there is a saying in Tamil, even if it is half a penny, a job, it should be a government job. जितने भी छोटा है, it doesn't matter. You need to serve the government. Somehow that is ingrained in my mind. So initially, when I was doing my MSc Mathematics, I could able to, without any interview or whatsoever, based on my degree mark, I scored around 80 mark. I could get a job in telephones. It's equivalent to operator, but it was a technical side at technician. So I underwent 1 year training in Trivandrum. That was my first exposure to the government. Around 500 rupees was salary. That 130 rupees was the monthly stipend. With this, I started my career, and around 600 rupees was salary after the training. So I was in telephones for 3 years. There, my teacher, Mr. Chandrasekhar Warrior, I gratefully remember him. He told me, Rajendran, you are overqualified for this job. You look at other boys, they are simply diploma holders. You are a MSc in mathematics. You should improve your English knowledge and move out of this department. Please improve your English knowledge. And then I started reading English newspapers diligently, trying to, being a small boy from a mother tongue is Tamil medium, I couldn't converse well in English. So I tried to improve my English, and then in the process, somehow I got into another job, Reserve Bank of India, as a kind note examiner. 3 times the salary. Here it was 600 rupees. 3 years I was touring all over Tamil Nadu, installing new exchanges, connecting towns and villages. Even Madras and Mahabalipuram, we are the one who laid the cable. We gave the telephone connection. That was 1981. So our Honorable Prime Minister was here to meet his Chinese counterpart sometime back in Mahabalipuram. So I was staying there for 6 months. So when I was in this job, I was kept on looking for a better job. I was not satisfied. So then I finally got into Reserve Bank of India as a kind note examiner. My salary was around 1,800 rupees, 3 times the salary, a huge amount those days. So when I joined Reserve Bank, then I found out a lot of guys who joined before, after me, they appeared for civils once or twice, kind of thing. And I thought, okay, we may also have something, inside us, which I was not aware of till that time. Then I also attempted for civil service. Then I could make it to interview with mathematics and political science. I could make up to first attempt itself. I could go up to that level. Then ultimately I could make it in the final list. Then the meantime I got into State Bank of India's officer without any preparation or whatsoever, only based on my mathematical knowledge and current affairs and general studies, English knowledge, which I prepared for civils. So the State Bank of India was very big job those days. So here I was getting 1,800 rupees. State Bank of India offered me 3,500 rupees. So it's almost double the amount.
Yeah.
So I couldn't sleep for 3 days. What I'm going to do with such a huge money. Uh, so from 600 to 3,500. So I joined State Bank of India as officer in Ahmedabad. 2 years I was in the bank. Then someone was, telling me that, this is not the place for you. You should get out. And you should look for civil service. Because गांव में तो मैंने बता दिया था कलेक्टर एग्जाम के लिए मैं तैयारी कर रहा हूँ. अभी क्या बैंक में आके हम बैठ गया. तो मैंने सोचा ठीक है इसको पूरा फिर दोबारा एग्जाम दे दो. Then I started writing, I appeared for civils, and that itself is a big story. But the long and short is, I could able to submit my application on the last day, cutoff date. I came to Khan Market, took photographs, and application. Because there was a lot of issues those days. So Ashram Express पकड़ के मैं दिल्ली आया था, application submit किया, फिर exam दिया. That was mathematics and Tamil literature. Because political science and Tamil literature. Because mathematics I lost touch almost 6-7 years. I thought I should change my optionals. So those days there were 2 optionals. So one is Tamil literature, the other one was political science. I wrote and then I cleared, and good mark. But interview pulled me down. Interview I scored only 100 out of 250. So overall my rank was very nice. But those days no reservation whatsoever. We had to compete with everyone in the open market. So I could make it to civil service. Then finally I chose this customs and excise because there was a tag collector, assistant collector those days. Now it's assistant commissioners. So then I thought, okay, this is the department. Then I thought many people talk about very bad thing about this department. Should I join this department or something else? Then I said, let people say so many things. Who you are and what are you going to be? It's entirely your choice. So join this department. So I joined. No looking back. 85 I joined. In December we all started a call for training. Then no looking back. And my motto in life is do well all that you do. Simple. This is what I taught my children also. They always tell, you taught us this one mantra, which is really killing us because we don't feel satisfied that I've done my best. So this one mantra guided me throughout my life.
Now, coming to your IRS career, as you just said, it spanned for over 3 decades, 34 years. And you earned a lot of respect as a principled officer. You even won the President's Award for meritorious service. But how did you balance the demand of such a high pressure job in the bureaucracy and your passion for Tamil literature like Thirukkural?
That passion was there in the corner. Literature and life, they are not two different things. In fact, what you learn from literature, you apply in life.
Surely.
Apply in life. You apply in your day-to-day life. I have a strong belief that unless you are a good human being, you can't be a good officer. What is more important is be a good human being and also efficient. If you look at Thirukkural, I've chosen one of the papers as the Tamil literature. I read the third part of Thirukkural, which is Kamathapal, which is relating a relationship between husband and wife. And nothing to do with the administration. The administering the relationship between the husband and wife. If that is peaceful, your family is peaceful. If family is, if peace prevails in your home, then peace prevails around you actually. So that was a portion which is was there for the syllabus and for civil service. But more than that, first 108 chapters of Thirukkural, uh, if you call it as a Aram, in Hindi loosely you can translate Dharma.
Yeah.
The second portion is about wealth. The wealth is not merely creation of wealth. It talks about education. It talks about being friendly with good people and building good friendship. 5 chapters on friendship, and then on administration. 25 chapters. Like that, the whole of Thirukkural is about efficient administration, efficient public life. The principle of efficient public life. That's what the Thirukkural talks about. So, which otherwise also there in the family actually. So, whatever we were living, I could see that all those things were there in Thirukkural. In a structured manner, he has given 2000 years back. Then what I did was, it's not that the balancing. I was learning something, then I was applying that thing in my office. It's a continuum. It's a continuum. There's two things. They are not two different things. So it's applied Thirukkural. My life was applied Thirukkural. That is how I felt it actually. So, the honesty, integrity, efficiency, serving for others, all these principles are there in Thirukkural, and that's what I was doing actually.
But
So
sir,
there's
still,
a,
I mean, the first book that you wrote after years of research on Thirukkural, I mean, how I just can't comprehend how a normal person does this. Like, write such an extensive piece of literature while researching on already such a extensive piece, and then also serving as such a important person in the revenue department.
Shajan, you really, there's a very important point. In the department, I was always given executive charge. Not the charge which is leisurely you can attend to, or you can do at your own pace. You can draw your plan and all. I was always in the executive charge. The department chose. I was in revenue intelligence for almost 9 years, Chennai and Delhi, and I was in Singapore heading the commercial side of the mission. Very busy period. In fact, that was a period, the first comprehensive economic cooperation agreement between India and any other country was signed. Out of 12 rounds of negotiation, I was there in the 11 rounds of negotiation. My previous colleagues started that, and thereafter 11 rounds, and I was coordinating almost a 40-member team, several secretaries, honorable, commerce minister, a finance minister, like that, every 2 months there will be a meeting, a huge demanding job. So always in the active life of civil service, I was there. Uh, the literature, in fact, the trigger point was my posting in Singapore.
Yeah.
As a second month to Foreign Affairs. I was heading that Foreign Affairs Department, and Honorable current Finance External Affairs Minister was my boss for a year, Dr. Jaishankar. So prior to that, there were two more, Mr. Shukla and Alam Prasad. They were there. So 4 years in Singapore. That is the period. In fact, sort of again ignited me, or it's kindled the fire in my mind and the literature, because Singapore, everything is, they mention Confucius for everything.
Yeah.
There is a Confucian Institute also there. And the elders always feel that, the children should learn about Confucius. So Confucius was a great scholar, thinker, almost 400, 500 years prior to Thiruvalluvar. That's what the period, generally, because they have a exact period. We don't have exact period. So maybe around 500 years before Thiruvalluvar, he was the one who started Civil Service Coaching Institute, Confucius. He used to treat children. I mean, he used to educate children from all over China, and whatever they offer as a fees, he used to accept that. And whoever passes through the Confucius Academy, they will all try to become a government servant. So Singapore was, on that track. So I thought, okay, they talk about Confucius. What is our great man? People say Thiruvalluvar has said so many things. So what really he said? That's what I started, had a peep into that literature. First time, a systematic study of Thirukkural I have done while I was in Singapore in the mission. No. Then that resulted in my first book, about 300-page book. I've taken all metaphors and similes in Thirukkural. So Thiruvallur sees some, some imagery, something comes to his mind. Then he comes out with a principle. Yeah, follow this. For example, one simile I would say that there are several 238 similes. Thiruvallur was said, and I have written one-page commentary in English in today's language.
Okay.
Couple, mixing my life. One simile I would say, see, your aim should be very high. Instead of chasing a small rabbit, which is running in the forest, you should chase an elephant and face it face to face, and then hunt the elephant. Now we should not hunt either elephant or a rabbit. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
But the message is this.
Yeah.
He says one who misses an elephant with a powerful spear is on one side. The other side, there's a guy who aimed at a rabbit and killed that rabbit. So both of them come to Thiruvalluvar. Say, I aimed this rabbit 100%. It was running at 100 mile speed, so I brought it. The other fellow says, I went inside the forest and there was a single elephant. It was standing tall, in the open ground. I faced it and I could throw my spear, but unfortunately, it didn't strike him. It didn't strike that elephant. I come with empty hand. And Thururu says, he's a better person. You aim high. Even if you miss it, you will get it actually. So aim high, even if you don't achieve now, you will achieve later. Because your aim is very high. So this is what one of the simile actually. Like that, there are several similes. And we can talk about these similes only for days together.
I'm sure. And it's really profound. I did come across some of the couplets also, and they were really, really thought-provoking for sure. But we will come to that in just a bit. Let's just, it would be better, I think, that if we go just bit by chronology.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about Singapore, you're posting at your tenure at Singapore, and you mentioned that was the turning point with your engagement to the Tamil literature. But I would like to know what specific experience, if you can share any, that inspired you to delve deeper in Thirukkural, and also the how the multicultural context that you see in Singapore, where you are saying that they also talk a lot about Confucianism, and you draw parallels to it. So can you share something about it, like your experiences and how they?
Yeah, I mean, as they say that Confucius, almost 700, 800 years, he was ruling the minds of the elites there in China.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, he also approached, but he has not written any book. It's
Okay.
only analects of Confucius is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he read the old scriptures of China, the book of songs, the
Mhm.
three emperors. So he only wanted to revive, go back to the culture and then revive that old culture, bring righteousness, the filial piety, the family values, all those things he was stressing in his teachings. But he has not written any book. Only Analects of Confucius is available. That too was written by, gathered by his students after a long time. Whereas Thiruvalluvar, I'm told, whatever I heard as a young boy and during my youth and in Tamil Nadu is, he said everything about life. If something is not there in Thiruvalluvar, it is not there in life. And whatever is there in life, we'll find there in Thiruvalluvar. And that is a secular literature. Though he is a believer in God, he doesn't talk about which God. And rather, he says the meditative, you meditate upon the God in your mind. That's what he says. He doesn't advocate a form, yeah, worship in a form actually. So Thiruvalluvar written a book which is very comprehensive in nature. Why don't we have a look at it? Then I found a book, a small book in the shelf of Singapore Library, uh, Eyes of Asia by one Ramakrishnan. He was a constable in Singapore Police Service. Not a very highly learned person or a kind of thing actually. Now he is no more. So his book of he put a face, human face. On one eye he put Thiruvalluvar, and another eye he put Confucius. So he said Eyes of Asia. A small book I read. So he tried to compare, Confucian sayings and Thiruvalluvar. Then I said, okay, let me have a look at Thiruvalluvar in full term.
Sir, also, not just the book, but you're also the founder of Voice of Valluvar, right? VOV.
Yeah.
What was your vision when you established this platform, and how has it evolved to promote Thirukkural across diverse audiences? And how many audiences have you reached so far?
See, the thing is, your program itself is, named Indian Masterminds. I would consider Vallur as one of the Indian masterminds,
For sure.
and that too, sort of a unique. And no one has said 100%, a comprehensive approach towards life like the world over. And the beauty is, it's secular. He doesn't subscribe to any particular religion whatsoever. He doesn't prescribe any religious dogma. He condemns the fake ascetics of even those days. Even 2000 years back, all the vices were there, all the virtues were there. The only thing is the degree is different. So, sort of an Indian mastermind. He has looked at the life in a holistic manner. Let's get into that. And then what he vision was not only for Tamilians, not only for India, it's for the humanity as a whole. In fact, there's no word called Tamil in the entire work. There's no Tamil king name has been mentioned. No Tamil rivers have been mentioned. It's all, he talks about world. He talks about Ulagu. Ulagu in Tamil is a world. He talks about only world actually. Though it's written in Tamil Nadu, it is meant for every human being. The biggest virtue he advocates is love, selfless love. And so I thought, once we have a systematic approach, application of this book into life, it will give better results. So what I started doing was coming back from Singapore. I was a commissioner for Coimbatore after coming back from Singapore, stayed away from Singapore to Coimbatore. I felt I need to give a zero corruption tax administration. If anyone got a genuine problem, they should be in a position to approach me. Thiruvalluvar prescribes, the attributes of an ideal king, that he should be easily accessible and he should not have harsh words. At the same time, when when you want to punish the wrongdoers, yes, you should punish, and that also he says how you should punish. He should punish in such a manner that he feels that what he has done was wrong, and it should be a reformative approach. So, not punishing for killing him once for all. And of course, he also prescribes death sentence for severe offences. So, in the tax administration, they always quote, Chanakya, that honeybee, and you should take away from the flower without disturbing the flower and all. So, what Thiruvalluvar talks about, taxation and just governance. So, all those things I was sharing with my officers. This is what my vision for this our country. I have seen Singapore. I heard so much about China. So we need to be we need to have a strong government, strong governance, where the taxpayers voluntarily come and pay their taxes. And there's no, whatever the law says, they should abide by that. So Thiruvalluvar talks about wealthy person in chapter 74. He says 3 things are important for a state. One is unfailing productivity. Number 2 is skilled personals. What would be chosen? Because he has given a very generic term. It can be applied to anything. So, skilled person. The third thing is wealthy, righteous capitalist. When I put all this adjective, naturally Tata will come to your mind. So recently only Ratan Tata passed away. Though we don't take name for anyone, but he is such a gentleman. I am just going through his life. Such a big book. I'm going through his life. So his father talked to him at a very young age. Nothing but compassion. Nothing but compassion. So compassion is the greatest virtue. So once you have compassion, you will do no wrong. So I will tell my officers, say God has given an opportunity to serve this country. When a lot of intelligent guys are sitting outside the department, and we are sitting inside the department. There are brilliant minds are outside the department. And by sheer chance or hard work or whatever you call it, multiplicity of factors which has brought us to this seat. So let's serve our country. Let's serve our country faithfully, honestly, efficiently. So I told the trade and industry, I had a very close relationship with the trade and industry. I used to do session even for them also. I used to go to colleges, schools, industry bodies. Everywhere I used to go and share the teachings of Thiruvalluvar and with my officers. And we also displayed Thirukkural in our office several places like Chennai. Even now it is there. Tuticorin it is there, and Visakhapatnam it is there. Everywhere where a lift landing place, I used to put some Thirukkural lecture. So it will keep on remaining. So if you put from any other scriptures, it will create problem.
Yeah.
So so and so is supporting only particular religion. So this religion, that religion. Thiruvalluvar is common to everyone. So even Honorable Prime Minister now, has taken a mission that through Central Institute of Classical Tamil, you want to bring in all Indian languages and whatever the other world languages also to the extent possible. So everybody talks about Thirukkural. Where even the finance minister and all the budgets over the finance minister, Shanmugam Chettiar those days, till Mr. Chidambaram, everybody used to quote Thirukkural. Nirmala Sitharaman madam also. So like that, Thirukkural can be written in office. I used to put in 3 languages. One is local language, Tamil or Telugu, as the case may be here. And then second one is, Hindi. Third one is English. So I used to put 50, 60 couplets, which is relating to tax administration or administration in general in offices. So that is how I try to bring in the culture of Thiruvalluvar and Thirukkural in the department, the tax administration.
That's actually really fascinating, because we even when I was trying to read Thirukkural, I could understand that it is quite relevant even today. But I would like to know from you, why do you think it is still profoundly relevant? And how do you convey its timeless wisdom to modern audience, especially to young people or public servants? I think you also conduct workshops for public servants. So how
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
convey
yeah.
this to them?
See, see, Thiruvalluvar, there is a book in English by V.C. Kurandachami. It's a Sagitya Academy Award-winning book called Immortal Kural. Why Kural, which was written 2000 years back, was valid during the ages, and is valid even today now, and going to be valid even future. Because basically, one is its comprehensiveness. You name it, it's there. Number two, he doesn't prescribe. He says cause and effect. It's not like any other scriptures. If you don't do this, you will end up in hell. You will get punya or papa. No, all those things. Cause and effect. If you do this, you will get this. If you don't do this, you will not get this. So like that, he says, which is a timeless, tested truth. For example, now the whole Tamil Nadu, yesterday there was a judgment. There is sexual brutality against, several girls, and 9 boys of the age of 28 to 32, 33, they indulged in this heinous crime, and the court has awarded the punishment. Look at this. Thiruvalluvar talks about a whole chapter on how to be in the company of good people. Friendship, good friendship. What is a bad friendship? What is a good friendship? And even if you are such a good human being, good person, Thiruvalluvar says, for you, being in the company of good people is very, very, very essential. You may be good by per se, by nature, but being in the company of good is a further shield which protects you from all kind of negative activities. So Thiruvalluvar says this. The whole chapter is dedicated to only this: how to be away from the company of bad people. So then, if you look at the husband-wife relationship, there's so much stress in this world today. Actually, why? Absence of love, absence of selfless love. Everybody is having a self-interest, self-centered. They don't want to live for others. No one wants to sacrifice for others. But look at mother's sacrifice. Whole chapter is written about father and mother. One chapter for father, one chapter for mother. Fifth chapter is for father, and sixth chapter is for mother. Seventh chapter is for children. How a children should conduct themselves. So, if husband wife follows what is written in chapter 5 and chapter 6, it's interchangeable. Nowadays, both are. Those days only male used to go for a job and go out of town to earn money. They used to go to far off places. But nowadays, both are working. Both are, sharing the family responsibility. So, chapter 5 is not a watertight compartment for husband, but chapter 6 is for wife. Both are interchangeable. Actually, in today's setting, both are interchangeable. Chapter 7 is about children. It doesn't talk about only a couple of two couplets. He talks about son. Son also means daughter. General Clauses Act says he also means she, unless otherwise the context requires. So here, 5, 6, 7 is even today it's relevant. For example, how children, what's a duty of father? It says you should do everything at your command to see that your children are in the forefront of their field. Whatever may be their field, they should be in the forefront of the landed assembly. You should do everything at your command. This is what the ruler says. In return, it tells a son, come on, your father has done so much. So what you should do is, you should conduct yourself in such a manner. This is what the couplet says. You should conduct yourself in such a manner that other people would say that his parents are really very gifted. They've done great penance to get such a nice children. So ये कितना बढ़िया उनका बेटा बेटी है. So कितना whatever how much good deeds they have done in their life, they are really great and fortunate to have such children. This kind of words the world need to talk about you to the parents. So this is relevant even today. So, and he says a friendship, 50 couplets only on friendship. So he talks about, I would say, 3 divisions of Thirukkural. First division is meaningful life. At the end of one's life, there should not be any emptiness. Whatever the life I lived, is it worth living? Was it worth living? Have I lived my life fully? That chapter 1, division 1 will give answer to that. If you follow that 100%, you will have that sense of satisfaction. Second, effective living. He is not the one among the 100 fellow who are running actually. He is in the forefront. He is the topper. He is the king. So that makes you the entire 70 chapters, part 2, an effective human being in the society. A compassionate, effective, knowledgeable human being in the society. The chapter 40 stresses only about education. He says no other wealth is a wealth. The real wealth is only education, only knowledge. And knowledge has no boundaries. And if you're an educated person, the whole world is before you. Everyone will welcome you if you're a learned person, knowledgeable person, the chosen field. The chosen field. So that is about chapter 2. Chapter 3 is relationship between husband-wife. It doesn't talk about sex. It talks about the intimate feeling between husband and wife. He gives a couplet. This couplet is a beautiful couplet. I always, say chapter 3, if you say one couplet is very important. Can you imagine, the relationship between husband and wife? He gives a fantastic example. He says, one is hardware, other one is a software. Which is superior? Hardware is superior, or software is superior? Which is more important? Valluvar says, if one is body, other one is soul. The relationship between husband and wife or the lover is that of body and soul. Imagine a body without soul. What is the use of that body? They would have cremated, at the earliest, they will cremate at the earliest possible time and do all the rituals. Imagine there is a soul and without the body. What is the use of the soul? They will say this is a haunted place. Unko bulawa, do some puja and then throw the soul out of this place. So, Thiruvalluvar says the relationship between husband and wife is that a relationship between body and soul. And they have come together only to make love, experience love, spread the message of love. What tells you is needed to say that Thiruvalluvar is relevant even today. And it helps you to lead a stress-free life. He says money has to be earned. Who says you need to live a ascetic life? You need to live a simple life, but not life in struggling in poverty. Yeah. He says make wealth, create wealth. He says the commands to the person, you create wealth, because wealth is the only weapon which others will understand. Your enemy will understand. Unless you are economically strong, whether it's a nation, whether it's a family, whether it's an individual, Valluvar stresses the importance of wealth. And the wealth has to come through rightful means. He says wealth is important and wealth has to come through rightful means. So the means as well as the end will have to be honorable. This is what Thiruvalluvar, Gandhiji was attracted towards Thirukkural. Gandhiji could read Tamil. He could also write Tamil. He was teaching Tamil in South Africa for some time. And Leo Tolstoy has also read Thirukkural, and he has quoted Thirukkural in his letter to a Hindu in 1908. There are 7 letters exchanged between Gandhiji and Tolstoy, and Tolstoy advocated love, pure love, which binds everyone. So Thiruvalluvar, Tolstoy, Gandhiji, everyone was attracted towards, towards the Thirukkural. So it is relevant because it teaches the basic values of life. Yeah.
In fact, that is what the couplets that you mentioned, they are so simple, yet they talk about such profound things, but also things that are really related to all of us. And I think this is what Thirukkural is renowned for, right? Concise yet profound couplets. Correct
Exactly.
me if I'm wrong. This is Kural Venba style of structure of writing, if I'm correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you
It's a,
tell us
it's
about
a,
that and the scientific precision behind the structure of these couplets?
yeah. So the thing is, Valur written a whole lot of one chapter is exclusively dedicated how to convey ideas to others, and 100% he followed that particular chapter in his entire writing. You can't remove one particular word and replace it with some other word. So each word is properly placed and contains really profound meaning, as you rightly said. For example, chapter that's called "What Gives You Pride and Proud in the Society." He says, "By birth, all are equal. By birth, all are equal. All pass through UPSC exam. All are equal. All IAS officers are equal. But do you think that all IAS officers are equal? Why some people are, some people are really appreciated and their work is really stellar work. Everybody passes IRS exam. Does everyone is equal? By birth, all are equal, but people differ in the way they deliver things. He says, whatever may be the methodology of testing and taking people, you will go through a rigorous exam, the rigorous testing procedure, but people will vary in their deliverance. This he talks about in particular chapter. And he says, the person's honor to a person, pride to a person comes not by his birth, not by his lineage, not by his parentage. It's only by his deeds. Judge people don't have any preconceived notion about this fellow is from that particular family, this fellow is from this part of the country, that part of the country, inka khandan ye hai, all those things are rubbish. He says, don't get colored by all those things. Just see the person and then what does he do. Don't believe by whatever he says. So each couplet, and if you look at the whole thing, 1,330 couplet, each one is very, very important and time-tested truth. That's why it is called a Poya Modi, the one which has never failed in the history of the 2,000 years. It's not going to fail because these are basic virtues. And he says, truth. Truth alone is the greatest virtue in the whole world. Actually. So he tells in couplet number 300 that as far as I know, he says, as far as I know, the greatest importance in anyone's life is the truth and truth alone. So this is what guided Mahatma Gandhi. This is what guided Harichandra. Everybody sees Harichandra in drama. Does everybody become Mahatma? Because the difference between Mahatma and others is Mahatma tried to follow those principles to the extent possible. There are people who blames Mahatma also. I'm not getting into that. He's the father of our nation and definitely played a very, very, very important role and stellar role in getting our freedom. So Mahatma followed the principle of truth. And one principle alone he followed and became Mahatma. So my experiment is truth. So Vallur also talks about one virtue, if you ask me, the greatest virtue, it's only nothing but truth. And what is truth is, ask your inner heart. The inner heart will tell you whether you are lying or not lying. So it's a profound meaning. Each and every couplet is profound meaning and need to be lived. Not simply memorized or not merely quoted for exam purpose or speech purpose. You need to try to live those values.
That's actually correct. In fact, I also thought that the scientific foresight doesn't end here, right? Because Thirukkural addresses topics like ethics, governance, human behavior, even like many of these things correspond with our modern scientific understanding, like psychology, sociology, even ecological balance. It talks about ecological balance. Can you share some specific couplets or themes that demonstrate this scientific foresight?
Yeah. The first thing is, the earlier, the last question you asked me about this Venba. What is it about? It's the smallest form of Tamil poem.
Yeah.
It contains 7 C's, not 7 words. It's called 7 C's, 7 meters. The 7 meters, you can't write a Venba in 6 meters. The shortest he has taken a very tight field. He's not taken an open field where you can write, you can be verbose. He was not believer in being verbose. He wants to be to the point, and everything is
Everything is
precise and
very
concise.
to the point. Yeah, very precise.
Yeah, to the point,
Right.
And if you read it in Tamil, it's
Mhm.
such a wonderful experience. Wonderful experience.
I'm sure.
So he has taken a shortest form of one and played a very very excellent game with that
Yeah.
with that 7 words, 7 meter is called Venba actually. So coming to this question of psychology, we also say that in fact next month there is a meeting in southern part of Tamil Nadu near Kanyakumari, Tenkasi. We are going to talk about Thiruvalluvar as a psychologist, Thiruvalluvar as a medico, Thiruvalluvar was a management. Thiruvalluvar is a management guru. Thiruvalluvar is a social reformist. Then he is a revolutionary. Like that, 5, 6 of our colleagues from different departments, different walks of life, they are going to talk on this. I'm going to chair this session actually. So, for example, psychology. Let's come to psychology.
Yeah.
He says, how do you judge a person? Earlier I said, judge by his deeds. Okay. Then he says, but he's a nice person, but he's got these are the shortcomings. Then Vallu says, if you look at everyone in this world, they will have some plus, some minus. Vallur says, look at all his plus first. Here, this is a place where the psychologist play a role. So Vallur is a psychologist. Look at a person, look at his positive attributes. Listed 1, 2, 3, 4. List out his negative attributes. Just see whether what overweighs the other actually. So he has got some shortcomings, but not very serious ones. But these are the big pluses. So I will go with this gentleman. So first he is asking us to look at the pluses. He doesn't say minus. So he starts a couplet, Gunam Nadi, look at his positive attributes. Kutram Nadi, look at his negative attributes. Then weigh both the things. And then whatever outweighs the other, you go by that thing. Then he also tells about judges. For example, judges, he has got a couplet. I am sitting as a judge. Thiruvalluvar says this in chapter 12. He says, don't look at who is the person in front of you. He may be your friend. He may be your enemy. He may be neither of these two. But before listening to them, he says, keep your mind, keep it calibrate to 0. Says someone say this, that is like a weighing scale. First, when you go to a shop, whether it's an electronic scale, means what they do is they put it as 0 setting. When you go to petrol pump, sir, just see whether 0 is there or not. Then you will fill up 2,000 rupees. So keep it in the 0. Calibrate your mind to 0. Then listen to them. Then decide accordingly. This is what judges. For businessman, what he says, only one couplet. He doesn't talk about business, not in chapter 2, wealth. In chapter 1, righteousness, he says. Chapter 12, part 1. He says, you should do business in such a manner as if you are the customer. Put yourself in the shoes of the customer and then do business accordingly. So if you take care of the client's interest, it's valid for a big company. Every company should take care of their client's interest first. Their customer's interest first. Their client could be material supplier, or their clients could be material purchaser from them, and take care of the client's interest first. Here I just want to quote an example today's life. Sometime back there was a tsunami in Japan. Coimbatore industry was sourcing material from Japan. So Japan, one particular critical material could not come from a Japanese company. The Japanese company sent a mail to the Coimbatore company. Because of tsunami, our company will stop production for the next. We cannot start normal production next 2 months. So please source your material from these 6 people are alternative suppliers for you. Whatever the material I was supplying you, these are the 6 suppliers. You can approach them. If you need any assistance from us, we will put you onto one of the persons. Can we do this thing? Can we, Indian businesses, any one of them can think? There may be many people of this nature. But I still remember this particular incident which was reported in the newspaper. I was in Coimbatore those days. He takes care of his client's business. I am suffering. So my suffering should not impact my client. So this is what the rule talks about in chapter 12. Righteousness. He talks about the chapter which is the fairness. It talks about chapter 12 is fairness, and 120 couplet number 120 talks about this ethical business, where you want to treat, where you should treat your customer as a king.
That's what we say nowadays, even though most of us don't really, like most of the businesses don't really follow this thing. But this is the golden rule of business even today, right?
This voice of Valluvar, the name, we thought about it when I was in Coimbatore, actually. So we discussed in the family, and we discussed, with the elders. We discussed about the scholars. And like, Voice of America is, we thought we need to have this Voice of Valluvar. Voice of Valluvar in the sense that we need to live those tenets, teachings of Valluvar, and then we share with the society. Mere preaching is not enough. It will not reach out the people. First, you need to practice. Because Mahatma Gandhi said, as I said, our family was greatly influenced by Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
So, so Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So we can tell so many things about the world. But are we trying to live those things which we want the world to follow? For example, we had just landed from Singapore to Coimbatore. Coimbatore is a neat and clean, fairly neat and clean city. But the place where we were staying in the quarters, we felt, I and my wife felt, this hygiene is not up to the mark. Then immediately what we did was, both I and my wife, we started cleaning the place around us, including the drains, backyard. We started cleaning one morning. There were 200 quarters inside the campus. And everybody felt he is our head of the family, that is the commissioner is the head of the family, and he and his wife, both of them are cleaning themselves. It is all much before, I'm talking about 2007.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2007, we came from Singapore, then we started following this. Then many people started joining us. Then we roped in some friends. 50 loads of garbage we removed from our campus. For ages, it was just there. Because people were not aware. People were taking it for granted, the hygiene standard or cleanliness standard. So we set aside a new standard. So that is the time we thought, the Voice of Valluvar family. And there were 2 people who have inspired me. One was a bus conductor, who every day morning recites a couplet and then start the bus. He was a bus conductor. The other one was a school teacher. I read about them in paper in Coimbatore. The other one was a school teacher, Anwar Baksha, and the other name was Kanaga Subramaniam. Anwar Baksha was a Tamil teacher in a SBOA school, and he used to ask question. If somebody tells a couplet, he will hand over 1 chocolate. So always keep 10, 20 chocolates in his pocket. So Anwar Baksha. So he never had a formal, after +2, he never had a formal education. He studied on his own. He had done PhD and become a teacher, Tamil teacher. These 2 were inspiring souls for me. So we should start Voice of Valluvar family, where everyone is equal. The profession doesn't matter. So honesty and integrity, and trying to carry the values of the Valluvar through living. So these are the people we need to unite. So okay, we'll start Voice of Valluvar family. The family is, we talked about Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. Now it worked. We talk about Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, it's not in practice. We talked about so many things, but it is not in practice. The Valluvar family, here there's no external agency to certify, yes, he is following Valluvar. It's only Valluvar says, the internal agency, your mind. your subconscious mind. Don't justify whatever you're wrong you do. And Valluvar says, you ask your mind. Mind is the greatest witness to whatever we do. Actually. So he says, ask your mind whether what you're doing is right or wrong. So whether I'm following Thirukkural or not, I can fool 1,000 people, millions of people throughout my life, but I can't fool myself. So Thiruvalluvar says, one who lives true to himself is a real ascetic actually. So Valluvar says this, and then whoever follows this, they have to only make a self-declaration. I'm trying to follow Thirukkural. So vegetarianism, Valluvar says, some people may follow, may not follow. There's a lot of things going on. But Valluvar is the one advocated vegetarianism, not out of any religious dogma, out of compassion for life. He says, Paguttundu Palliyuromdal. Whatever you have is distributive wealth. You give it to the society, you share with the people. So Valluvar's vegetarianism is out of compassion, not out of any religious dogma. And he says, I said so many things in 1330 couplets. Whatever appeals to your mind, take it. If it doesn't appeal to you, don't worry. Don't worry, and it's up to you whether to follow or not to follow. Then that is how this Voice of Valluvar family started. So he says, whatever appeals to you, whatever comes to your mind, if you agree with that, take it. Otherwise, leave it. The consequences are yours. So based on this understanding, we started, forming a WhatsApp social media group. We have started a website called voiceofvalluvar.org. Then we have a WhatsApp family, WhatsApp Voice of Valluvar family. Then there was a limitation joining number of people those days. So we moved to Telegram. So today we got about close to 400, 370, 380 or something like that. People are there. Some are active, some are not active. Many are authors. Some are students. Some are bureaucrats. Like Ponniyin Selvan, who united us. So he is also part of the family. So we this family, the word is a real catchy word. We have come together. There are thinkers, there are writers, there are students, there are management gurus. All people try to read Valluvar more and more and more, and then take it to the society. In the process, we also work with the like-minded people. So now what we have done is, the last couple of years we have done several things. One is spreading the message about Valluvar. Over 7,000 books have come about Thirukkural. So we are trying every week. We introduce a book about 45 minutes by anyone in the students, scholars, teachers. They will introduce a book. Every Friday evening we do this. We interview scholars who lived the life of Thirukkural. That is also we are doing. And then for the first time, Thirukkural has been. There's no such parallel literature in the whole of Indian language. No, nothing is so comprehensive. You talk about Kabir, you talk about Kabir's Dohas, you talk about something else, but everything is only bit and piecemeal. But nothing is comprehensive in nature like Thirukkural. So what we have done is we are trying to promote Thirukkural as a national book, Thirukkural to the UNESCO. If you look at the preamble of UNESCO, exactly it matches with the whole objective of the Thirukkural actually. So if you want to take Thirukkural to UNESCO, now first time we have documented in how many languages Thirukkural has been translated into. It has been translated into 62 languages till yesterday, because we are trying to keep ourselves up to date. Indian languages, world languages. In fact, Central Institute of Classical Tamil and Government of Tamil Nadu both are doing translation. They are supporting translation work. In addition to that, many people are doing on their own, out of passion. Out of passion, they are trying to do the translation of Thirukkural. That is how many translations have come actually. So we have documented for the first time in a 200-page book Thirukkural translations in world languages. For the sake of viewers, I'm telling, it has been translated in all languages of all official languages of UNESCO except Portuguese. This is the one language which has not been translated to. And as far as the UN is concerned, it has been translated in all official languages. I think there are 6 languages. All the 6 that have been translated. UNESCO 10 languages. out of 10, it has been translated to all languages except the Portuguese. And as far as the Indian language is concerned, whatever the scheduled languages in the Indian constitution, it's been translated into all the, I think there are 23 languages. It has been translated into 22 languages. Sindhi is the one language which is pending. If it has been translated into Sindhi also, then, it will be all Indian official languages, it would have been translated. In addition to that, it has also been translated to many other dialects of small languages, vernacular languages in India. For example, Maithili, it has been translated into. And there was a tribal languages in Madhya Pradesh, it has been translated. Santali language, it has been translated. When Thirukkural is translated into several languages, what happens is two things happens. One, the message of Valluvam reaches them. Two, their language is preserved.
Of course.
Like now Maithili is revived. So they try to, Nilgiris alone, there are several 7 dialects. So if you want to preserve India's strength is unity in diversity. If you want to preserve these 7 languages, if Thirukkural is translated into these languages, then those languages also will be preserved. So both the Central Institute of Classical Tamil and their Government of Tamil Nadu, they are doing it. So we are also trying to connect people with these 2 institutions. So that is one work we have been continuously doing to spread the message of Valluvam. Ultimately, we also conducted 29 lectures in English about connecting the values for which UNESCO stands for and the Thiruvalluvar, whatever it talks about. For example, the Sustainable Developmental Goals of United Nations, it matches, if you can map, I think around 15 or 20, all those things can be mapped to Thirukkural. Each and every chapter, it can be linked. Similarly, our constitution, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, all these things can be mapped into Thirukkural actually. So when you read Thirukkural, when you read any other document, you will see, oh, this is what has been said in Thirukkural. This is what Valluvar has said 2000 years back for a harmonious society. How to live in harmony. There's a whole lot of one chapter exclusively dedicated for living in harmony. Living in harmony. So this is what, through a Voice of Valluvar family, trying to propagate the values of Valluvam through various medias, including social media.
When you said here that you are delivering lectures, you also deliver lecture to Group A officer trainees in central and state governments, right?
Yeah, whenever, in fact, I've been to Delhi, a couple of times when I was in service, of course. We have trained, 2,000 inspectors. I mean, we have got 500 inspectors joined in Visakhapatnam. I was the chief commissioner there. When we were doing GST training, I used to do half-a-day training only on Thirukkural, actually, ethics. I used to receive very good feedback. Sir, technically, subjects keep on changing.
Yeah.
But these are the values which will guide us throughout our life, and nobody will tell us about these things, basic things in our life. So, I got a very good mail, very moving mail from my officers. Such a wonderful session, sir, like that. And even now, our academies, whoever calls me, I don't charge anything for this. Whatever the honorarium they give is fine. So, private bodies or, government institutions. Recently, I addressed 900 people in Government of Tamil Nadu. 1.5 hours, I addressed them. 900 auditors have newly joined the department. I said, what are the functions of auditors? And from Thiruvalluvar point of view, and how you can be the best auditor in the world.
Yeah.
So Thiruvalluvar talks about everything.
Actually, that is what I wanted to ask. That what are some of the key principles that you teach public servants, and how do you see these ideas influence their approach to governance?
Yeah. So basically, as I repeatedly telling, if I want to change myself, only I need to change myself. Any amount of lecture, any amount of it only make me to think and tell me the consequences. If you do this, this is what will happen. If you do this, this is what will happen. So Thiruvalluvar talks about the maxims, all teachings of maxims of Valluvar is timeless one. For example, how do I start my session is Uh, I asked her, what's your name? Strategian, you said. What is the meaning of strategian? You said. What is the
To
meaning?
create.
To create. I said, so parents would have thought about this thing, and then after a lot of deliberations, only they would have named you actually. They created strategian, and then the name also they put a strategian actually. So strategian is, so what is creative? You are not destructive. First thing is you are not destructive. You need to create something. What you create? You create wealth. You create value. You add value. You create happiness, spread happiness. So I start with the name of the person. Do you match your? Does your qualities? Does your qualities match with your name? First assessment, self-assessment. To what extent you are matching with your name? It stands for something like somebody says Arjun. Arjun means what? The moment that you tell Arjun, what comes to your mind is he is
Arjun from
focused.
Mahabharata. Yeah.
Mahabharata, yeah. He is focused. He always on the job, and he's handsome. Of course, everyone is handsome. So like that, are you matching with the qualities, the name which we are bearing? That is how I put a question. Then I say there are three things: mind, speech, action. What are the pollutants of mind? Thiruvalluvar tells these are the pollutants of mind. There are 4 pollutants of mind it talks about. Then pollutants of speech. What are the things will pollute your speech? Then action. What kind of action you need to carry out? All these 3 things are listed in Thirukkural in various chapters. If you look at the first 108 chapters, it's all spread throughout this thing. But in division 1, it talks about in 10, 12 chapters, these 3 things. They, 3 Karana Suddhi. They call mind, speech, and action.
Can you name
Everyone,
a few
Yeah.
pollutants that you
yeah. The pollutant of mind is anger. Then envy. Then greediness. These 3 things. Then coveting the property of others. I need to have this. These 3 are related. The 4th one comes out of that. Somehow I know to grab his property. So anger is one of the pollutants of the mind, because the moment you have anger, your intellect is, banned from acting.
Yeah.
It's a clouded. So anger management is the one Valluvar talks about. He talks about one chapter, exclusive chapter only on anger management. Then envy. If I look at somebody, why I need to envy? How much sacrifice you would have done, I don't know. How much, what is the hardship he has undergone, I don't know. Why I need to envy? If somebody goes in X car and I'm going in ordinary Maruti car, why I should envy the other fellow? I am also reaching my destination. He is also reaching his destination. Whether he received money by hook or crook through unlawful means, it's not my botheration. If tomorrow I am an administrator of serious frauds, then I will look into it. As a common man, why I should bother about? Okay, so the envy, then greedy. I can have ambition. I want to become, as I said, my life was started with a 600 rupees salary. I want to move up. This is my ambition. There's nothing called greedy. In fact, I left a job of 3,500 rupees. I joined a job of 2,500 rupees because I like this job, not the money. So the greediness, the 3 things are the pollutants of mind. The 4th one is coveting others' property. Actually, property means it could be intellectual property. It could be anything actually.
Any
so
belonging.
These 4 things, any belonging of others, which is not meant for, which is not rightfully, related to me. I should not, cover that. So these 4 things polluted the mind. The pollutants of speech also he talks about. He says, vainless talking. If I talk something, it should be purposeful, purpose-oriented, result-oriented, focused. So the vainless talking is one. Then he says, harsh words. He has written another chapter. And one more thing actually. So three things which is he says polluting the words. Then action, anything which brings disrepute to you, bad for you, is a bad action. Whatever I do action, it should be good to me, not at the cost of others. Not at the cost of others. There is a chapter he talks about not doing any harm to others. The particular chapter he says, not thinking harm to any others. Thinking itself is equivalent to doing.
Yeah.
So it is the thinking. This fellow must be taught a lesson. This fellow must be, thrown out of this place. No. Even your thinking has got an effect. Buddha says, whatever action and every action there is a reaction.
Yeah.
Negative thinking in my mind will also result in whether bad thing for other fellow or not. It will happen to me actually, because there is something called righteousness, God of righteousness, which is watching 24/7, 365, and you can't. Volvo says, he cautions, never even think about bad for others, because the moment you think bad for others, definitely, certainly it will happen to you. Something bad will happen to you. So like that, action is a one which has to be purity of action. There's a whole lot of one chapter totally dedicated to purity of action. Then for civil servants, I would say chapter 96 to 108, civil servants, each civil servants need to study, and particularly chapter 103 is only for civil servants. 96 to 108, what kind of civil servants, what kind of qualities you need to have. All these things are there as ideal citizen. If civil servants cannot lead a life of ideal life, what kind of message will send to the society?
Sure,
you cleared the topmost exam. You cleared the topmost exam. You're a brilliant fellow. You're academically brilliant. But what use?
Yeah.
Volvo says, of what use your knowledge? He cannot alleviate the suffering of the people, alleviate the suffering of the clients, your clients. Of what use your knowledge? I used to tell my officers, you are all brilliant. Can you solve the problem of the people, those who are coming to you, saying with the tax problem? I used to tell, the business and industry that I am your first consultant. The government is paying me. I am serving you. Please come to us. What's your problem? Whether there is a provision for, to sort out your problems. If not, I will bring to the notice of the government, the policy makers. The policy will be changed to suit, for the benefit of everyone. So we are here as a voice of you. We will voice your concern to the government. Like that, I used to tell my officers, your knowledge should be useful to the society. If it cannot solve the problem of trade and industry, I will not consider you as an intelligent officer. Yeah. You may be intelligent, you know everything actually, but that knowledge, does it help you to solve the problem of people? Volvo says, Volvo asks a question. You claim you are a knowledgeable person. Of what avail your knowledge if it's not going to solve the problem of the people? So civil servants need to read from chapter 96 to 108, the entire 108 chapters, 130 chapters, only under 1,330 couplets. Civil servants, it should be made, in my view, it should be made as a 3-day program compulsory for all civil servants. We are ready with the doctors, engineers, management people. We are ready to share our knowledge and wisdom, secular wisdom with the people, so that we become a better run, efficiently run country, and we become economically a real superpower.
Are you guys planning to propose this to, I guess, the DOPT or the UPSC, that this should be included mandatorily in the civil services training?
See, UGC 2016, they issued a circular, University Grants Commission. Yeah. See that, this one-page circular, later on I can share with you, you can show it to the viewers also. They said, Thirukkural, learning of Thirukkural will imbibe, great virtues in the minds of people, and will also help us to build a harmonious society. Yeah. So, we have written to government of Tamil Nadu, but no response, and we have also, we are not written to DOPT and all, but I tried through informal channels. For example, you asked a brilliant question. Dr. S.M. Dias, I mentioned about this stellar person. He was the founder of Police Academy in Hyderabad, Indian Police Service. This gentleman is a product of St. Joseph College, Trichy, S.M. Dias. He was a director of Police Academy in Mount Abu. So Mount Abu, those days were very difficult to get guest lectures. So what he had done was he wanted to bring it to the centralized place, the Police Academy. So during his period, this Police Academy was shifted from Mount Abu to Hyderabad. S.M. Dias. He was very well versed in Thirukkural. He has written a detailed commentary on each couplet and written a book, 1,300 pages, 2 volumes, close to 1,000 rupees. Founder director of Police Academy in Hyderabad. He was an earlier director also. So he is the one who started criminology department in Madras University. He has done a PhD also those days. So he knew the value of Thirukkural, and his commentaries is quoted Bhagavad Gita, Bible, everything actually. In fact, I wanted to first start with Police Academy, and because he's such a brilliant man, everyone, because he talks about 2 chapters only on police. He talks about the army, which is applicable to police also. From army, they asked us. Some people asked us. We have given a small presentation also. I and my team have given a small presentation to army also, because they talk about Sun Tzu, Chinese, war management. So Thiruvalluvar is a greater war management than Sun Tzu actually, but he is not being applied. So we want to start with the Police Academy. We want to start with the Masuri Academy. You really made a good point. Whether you have written, I have not written to DOPT. I think there's a high time I should, write to them. Consider this. We are here as, we want to give back to the society.
Yeah.
And this is one of the Indian mastermind. And this mastermind is, unless it is put into use, put into application, how you become the results. So there is a product, and the product need to be taken to people. And the civil servants who are the steel frame of this country, I'm telling you, the government will keep on changing. They are there to ensure there is a continuity. They are there to ensure the policies of the governments are implemented without any flaws and reaches the masses. It gives the desired results. So that civil servants should be talked about Thiruvalluvar, so that we have a meaningful, effective, and joyful living, stress-free living. And we will write to, and the Voice of Vallur family will write to DOPT.
Yeah, I think that is really needed, that you are already conducting camps to help school children memorize the entire Thirukkural, right? And so what has been the response from students? Also, how do you see this initiative shaping their values and connection to Tamil heritage?
Rajan, is really another important question. Government of Tamil Nadu, irrespective of whatever the ruling party, they try to promote Thiruvalluvar and Thirukkural. And the year 2000, that time the Chief Minister was, Honorable Chief Minister was Dr. Karunanidhi. So he started a scheme. Whoever can memorize all the 1,330 couplets like a sloka, he will be given some reward. So he was giving monthly this thing and all. Now the current farmers, whoever can recite, government gives 15,000 rupees cash and a certificate saying that he has memorized everything. As a young boy, and we have studied over a period of this 25 years, people in the age group, students in the age group of 6 to 14 are in a position to memorize. That is first standard to 7th standard or 8th standard. 9th onwards, they got a different kind of pressure. And again, they got other work, studies they have to do. So the ideal age is first standard to 8th standard. So we have found out so far about 1,200 people have been memorized and got award from Government of Tamil Nadu. So what we are trying to tell Government of Tamil Nadu is remove the ceiling of 70 people per year only they were giving. So Government of Tamil Nadu has removed that ceiling. 2 years back. Now it has gone to 150 people last year. 147 people have memorized and got the award. So what we are trying to get people who are sparing their time to help the people to memorize the Thirukkural throughout Tamil Nadu. We integrated. We have found out 6-7 of them. Many of them doing out of passion. They are spending their pension money. They are doing human service. So we are going to have a meeting also this coming month. We are trying to find out all the 38 districts of Tamil Nadu. We want to bring at least 100 people per district. This is our aim. Like Thiruvalluvar said, whatever you think, aim high. Whether you achieve or not, don't worry. I mean, you look walk towards that. Aim high. So we are aiming at 100 people per district. 3,800 people. Pondicherry and Karaikal are put together for 40 districts and for 4,000 people every year we are planning. But currently it's only 150. But we are going towards that. What we are getting the feedback from parents, teachers, and the Thirukkural trainers are the behavior. There's a behavior change among the students. The capacity to memorize goes up. They become very disciplined students. And again, Thiruvalluvar is the one who inculcates scientific temper in you. He quotes, there are 2 couplets where he says, don't merely so and so says, accept it. Test it, try it, verify it, use your intellect. If it appeals to you, then accept it.
This
Don't
is basically
blindly follow
the
it.
definition of scientific method, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He says there are 2 couplets. Whoever says whatever it says, don't accept it. You try to find out the truth behind it. Then you accept it. So inculcates scientific temper. So it inculcates, these students are also otherwise very good in academics. So it is yielding good results. We are trying to build a better society and knowledgeable, so based on knowledge society, reasoning, rational, not blind belief or whatsoever, and a virtuous society. So it is slowly yielding results. Students are coming up, and we are trying to take it to the next generation, and they are receiving well. Particularly, what we found is mothers are more interested in teaching Thirukkural to the children than fathers. One particular gentleman in Kanyakumari, he taught in the last 10 years 66 children. He says all the 66 children, only their mothers were behind. So we are also trying to recommend we made a request to government of Tamil Nadu, going to make a formal request also, that whoever memorizes Thirukkural could be college student. Why only restrict to school students? College students will have better perspective, a different perspective. So college, even if a college student memorizes, give him 25,000 reward with award with whatever. You can ask him meaning, whatever is there, apply Thirukkural. So you can ask a difficult question and then give them 25,000 money. Mothers who are reading Thirukkural, memorizing Thirukkural, give mothers also, encourage mothers to memorize Thirukkural. So all these things we are going to put as a demand to government of Tamil Nadu. So we'll do it, and it is yielding results. These students will not be a cost for they will not visit police station. They will not be root cause for any problem in the society, and they will work for betterment of the society. Not only them and the people around them. In the workshop, so that was well received. That workshop which I conducted for 900 people. Many people, they came after that workshop was over, one and a half hour. It's a sort of a monologue only. But I conduct a workshop, half-day workshop. That will be a small gathering, about 200 people. About 50, 100 kind of thing in a closed room sitting. I will have a lot of question and answer, interact them, make them to think, make them to contemplate. My idea is not to fill them with a lot of information. The idea is to make them to think and then be the owner of their action.
Yeah, in fact, the text itself allows so much contemplation, and it's, as I said, it is very thought-provoking. You have to constantly think about it. There's no other option once you read it.
Yeah, exactly. And Thiruvalluvar, for example, education is the one he gives a lot of importance.
Yeah.
He says that's the real wealth. All other material wealth will fleet. but the education and knowledge what you gain is very, very important. And he says it's very easy to gain knowledge. People think that, so and so will have to be so and so, so and so. No, 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 no. He says gaining knowledge is as easy as digging a well in a in a sandy area. As a young boy, we used to go to the nearby river in our village. We used to dig up a small, water source, and then we used to drink water straight away from the river. Actually, so the more you dug up, you get more water. And the point is, why you used a sand well? The sand well has to be continuously dug up. If you don't maintain the sand well for a couple of days, then it will all be over. So learning is also a continuous process. It's an easy process. Don't worry about your background or whatsoever. It's very easy to acquire knowledge, the domain knowledge. The domain knowledge is very, very important. And he says, be an expert in your chosen field. If somebody thinks about so and so in the particular field, you'll be there in the top of their mind. So you should conduct yourself in such a manner that you are there in the top of the mind of your clientele. That's all. You conduct yourself. Be a human being. So this is what I taught the auditors also. I told us, I quoted a lot of other things from scriptures, lessons in Tamil literature. I told them that somebody is monitoring you. If you believe in God, God is monitoring you. If you don't believe in God, someone is always watching you. Your every action is recorded. Buddha says, every action of ours is recorded. You can't escape from the consequences of my action. Whatever my action, I'll have to face the consequences. So Buddha says, so somebody is monitoring you. That kind of feeling you should send to the other people. They are the auditors, 900 newly appointed, recruited auditors of Government of Tamil Nadu. The people in the field, you can't audit every record, but you should be so effective that the mere thinking of you should send the signals in the mind of people. They should never do anything wrong. So you should conduct audit in such a manner that you are very, very knowledgeable. You should know more than what the people are there in the field. This is how I, did the session. It was well received.
So it was just one last thing that I wanted to know, sir, that you've dedicated your life to Thirukkural, writing books, to mentoring children and officers. Now, looking ahead, what is your vision for the text's global legacy? Also, how do you hope your work will contribute to it? Plus, what is the road ahead for Voice of Valluvar?
So, road ahead for Voice of Valluvar, it's a loosely formed organization. I will not call it as an organization. It's not a registered body. It's a concept. It's a concept, a Voice of Valluvar family. So, it has withstood the time of 2000 years. It was not depending upon any king or any rulers. The Thirukkural was always taken from generation to generation by scholars and the common man. Now the knowledge of Thirukkural is spreading. Governments also joined hands, and Voice of Valluvar family, within our family also, my wife has written a book for children in Tamil as 124 stories, conveying first 108 chapters, the teachings of first 108 chapters. So I have written 2 books, and we are also, giving this book to the needy people actually, who is, last year somebody topped a girl from a small village, topped the Group 1 service of Tamil Nadu, PSC, police service. I immediately got hold of the girl's address and sent a set of my books, 2,500 rupees worth of books to the family, a village, saying that you have really achieved something great from a small village. So like that, trying to infuse the values of, Thirukkural in the minds of people. So like that, each one in the Voice of Valluvar family, they are trying to spread the message of Valluvar. That's number 1. Number 2 is within the family also. My son is the one who designed the logo for Voice of Valluvar, with the Valluvar and the wheel. The wheel is moving, but it's also constant. It moves around the axle. Wheel is for development. That is actually Sun Temple wheel. Sun is standing for knowledge, Gyan. So the Thiruvalluvar is in the center of that wheel actually. So we keep changing but Thiruvalluvar, stands stay put. So a lot of things. So this logo was conceived by me, but designed by my son. So my children within the family also, my children also very much interested, though they have not formally studied Tamil, because as a civil servant, that is the price we have to pay. So I was in Delhi. Children studied Hindi, French, and Sanskrit. So Tamil we taught them in the family. So both of them picked up some Tamil. So they are very much interested in the teachings of Thirukkural. Definitely, they will also carry the light from to next to this one. Not only our children, there are a lot of scholars like Dr. Ashraf. If you look at Voice of Valur family, Dr. Ashraf is working for almost 30 years. 30 years. There's one doctor, a neurosurgeon. Then there is an eye surgeon. It's not a Voice of Valur family, as I said. It's not an organization. There is a builder. There is an administrator, IAS officer of 1984 batch, Balakrishnan. He was advisor to Chief Minister of Orissa, those days. So Balakrishnan has written 3 books on the Thirukkural. He talks about comrade Valluvar. You want to call the Thiruvalluvar is not as a guru or not management guru. He says comrade Valluvar, Thorar Valluvar. So that kind of feeling actually. So then only you can understand, imbibe, and transfer the wisdom. So like that, it's not a one-man job. It's the entire Voice of Valluvar family. Every one of them trying to spread the message of Valluvar by living Valluvar, and then writing articles, contributing articles to the paper, like conducting sessions. We are there. We are there everywhere. Whoever wants make use of our expertise, we are there readily. We are there, and I'm sure Valluvar doesn't depend upon us. In fact, we depend upon Valluvar actually. If Valluvar is imbibed, Valluvar is not worried whether my work will spread across generation or not. If you people feel that it is of useful to you, take it. And just I want to close the thing with one thing. There is a book which is a top-selling book in English called Ikigai. Ikigai is the one which talks about the Japanese way of living. Two authors, they want to find out which part of the globe people live longer. What is the reason for their longevity of life? It's not merely living longer, living happily. Only when you lead a satisfied, contented, happy life, you can live longer. They want to find out. There are 2 parts in the world. They've identified the people. One, I think, somewhere deep in Africa, one in Japan. They went to Japan. They stayed there for about 5-7 years or 10 years. They observed something. Then they documented the secret of long, lengthy, happy living. Then they document a small book. If you read the book, whatever is written in the book is there in Thirukkural actually. Everything there. Friendship is there. Selfless service to the society is there. And all basic values. Love is there. Passion is very important. So I close with 2 more things, from Thirukkural. Passion is very important. Whatever you do, you need to do it with passion. Whatever may be the job. So my guru used to tell, watch. That's my spiritual guru. He actually he attained Samadhi 10-12 years back. He used to give me a mantra called watch. Watch your words. Just see whether your words are in harmony with the Valluvar's teachings. I use Valluvar as a touchstone. Watch your words. Carefully handle your words. Don't speak vainless words. Don't speak harsh words. Then WA, watch your action. Just see that your action, like Gandhi ji gave you a talisman. So this action is very important. Whether the action is result oriented, is it in accordance to the rules and regulations? May tell my officers whether it's in accordance with the rules and regulations, or are ourselves violating the rules. So watch your action. Watch your thoughts. Thoughts need to be clean. If thoughts are not clean, your action will not be clean. So watch your thoughts, watch your character, which is a combination of all these three. Then watch your heart. The heart needs to be, it need to be filled with three things: love, passion, and gratitude. Whatever you do, passion, you need to do it with passion and you need to be grateful. If you have these 8 virtues, 8 mantras in your life, I'm telling you, life is made out. Finally, like Ikigai book, if Thirukkural is lived by, try to live Thirukkural. That is the only way to spread the message of Valluvam. Then finally, I would like to quote, I would like to mention about Verghese Kurian, father of milk revolution in India.
Of course.
He studied in Tamil, he studied Thirukkural. The Amul model, he got inspiration from Thirukkural. And Amul is nothing but distributive wealth model. The owners are ordinary people. I am told there are more than 3 lakh kind of owners. Amul is owned by, it's a cooperative. And every product you buy, 70% goes towards a producer. Abdul Kalam was driven by Thirukkural. Mahatma Gandhi was driven by Thirukkural. So all great value, all great personalities are driven by Thirukkural. And I am also, one of the small person in this cog. And I'm trying to spread the message of Valluvam. It definitely, whoever imbibes the values of Valluvam, because it's nothing, no religious dogma. It's not attached to any particular religion. It's a way of life without any religion, but spiritual in nature. So Valluvam is a great, fearless, and I always call it as a, it's operating, Thirukkural gives a standard operating procedure. This is a standard operating procedure for meaningful, effective, and joyful living. It's a wholesome life. So we all together will try to imbibe the values of Valluvam and spread the message of Valluvam. Build this country as a better country. People will know that this is a country where Valluvam originated. Though it originated from this part of the land, it need to be owned by the whole society, human society elsewhere. But we Indians, we need to try to imbibe these values. Then you will have really a harmonious society, unity and diversity. Thank you, Shrajan.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving your time and all this wisdom. Because really, I mean, even through this video and in general, I would recommend people to just go and read this text, because this might just change your life. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you. You can share my email with the viewers, and they can reach out to me. Any doubt, any questions, any recommendation about the book, I would be very happy. I'll suggest them and clarify the doubts or whatsoever.
Yeah,
and
sure, sir.
I and our team is always available for any workshop or whatsoever. We don't charge anything. The only thing is we need to be taken care of. That's all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Stajan, and all the best to you.